Yeah, man, people, welcome back, man. Welcome back to the Jamaican Premier League show on Nicardo Media House, yeah, as I call it, the Media House JPL show, yeah. Bless up on yourself as usual. I don't know, this is the second year running we're going to cover the Jamaican Premier League, and you don't know, no other better day for kickstart the thing, and it's today Sunday. You don't know when red rice, chicken, oxtail, fish, you know it. Some cow food, some cow skin, it. All the chefs currently with Jamaicans, and Sunday big dinner, some people love them blend up juice and jump plum, them carrot and everything. But before we go any further into the show, people, we have to bless up Delano Bailey and his family. Condolence to everyone that got hurt in that tragic crash, in Kingston early yesterday morning. You don't know me, I say, that's a very good news that you would like to hear, but let's us take a moment of silence for Delano Daly. Yes, so people, bless up to Delano Daly family. Condolence to everybody that got hurt, in that tragic car crash. But but where I want to go, I want to big up the organization body again, the PFLJ, Mr. Owen Hill and Mr. Williams. You have to big them up, from them came in a few years back. It's a more established league, it seems like the marketing and everything. These guys are the marketing guru, when it comes on to the local football in Jamaica. What they have been doing, there's no words to describe it. The state of where the Jamaican football was at the moment in the local league. They have bring it to, I think, 5 or 10 steps above where it was, in previous years, especially before the COVID kickstart. You get what I say? But again, big up to the organization body. I was watching that press conference. I would say it's a press conference, but it's a presentation of the start of the Jamaican Premier League, and it was a wonderful move. I love it. I love that. And again, I have to big up the teams them as well, the local teams. Most of them are doing better. You could see most of them are using up their social media platform. We have to give thanks to that as always. You understand? And who else? Have to big up Ray and Nephew, for being that proud sponsor of the Jamaican Premier League as usual. They were here, in many years ago, and they came back. And this is their second stint as covering the Jamaican Premier League as the main sponsor. Yeah, big up to the rum bar, Ray and Nephew. Yeah, big up to them. But yeah, the JPL is returned today. This is this video should have published already. You get what I say? But because sometimes busy schedule of me, you understand, so this is the time that I got, and I want to be in the right state of mind. I want to be in a right comfortable spot as I'm outdoor. I don't want to do this video indoor. You get what I say? So yeah, early Sunday morning, big up to the people again on a Sunday, blessed Sunday, everybody that going to church. And again, pray for Delano Daly family and the rest of the crew that tragic lost their life in that car crash. Can't believe such a tragic thing that happened. But look, we're going to discuss the Jamaican Premier League. I'm going to go over some of the big guns teams, and then we're going to discuss match day 1, week 1 of the Jamaican Premier League. So we're going to start off things with Cavalier Football Club. Look, this team have been doing such a fantastic job, with such a young squad, the harmony that they're creating, around the space of local league in Jamaica. The team that they used to win that 2021 Jamaican Premier League, they said it was a COVID season, but guess what? They beat one of the most farm talented team in the land, Mount Pleasant, last season and penalty shootout. And guess what? You have to give Rudolph Speid his props. You have to give Rudolph Speid his props. This team have one of the most deadliest attacking force in the league, one of the best defensive team in the league. I remember, let me give you some rundowns of Cavalier Football Club. So Cavalier Football Club, the 3rd best defensive record last season. Over the last 2 seasons, Cavalier have conceded 41 goals in 2 seasons, and they have scored 95 goals in the last 2 seasons. That shows that this team with these young players, they have been doing a wonderful job, and the backing of the manager can't write him off, Mr. Ruler Speed. You understand? And top scorer, Jalmara Calvin last season with 11 goals. Previously, last 2 seasons back, it was Colin Anderson with 18 goals. Now Jalmara Calvin, he's going to step up that battle, and he's going to have to improve on that 11 goal that he scored last season in the regular season. And and Jalmara Calvin, his goal contribution, for last season, it was 30% of the goals that Cavalier have scored last season. So yeah, look, Cavalier started out, remember when Cavalier started out the season a little bit late. I think they played in match, they started at match day 3 when they were playing Montego Bay United. They lost out on that one. I think that was what, a header from, I think it was Lucas, the Brazilian. That ball was assisted by Jean Ferreira down there at Montego Bay, and it was a slow start to them. It was a slow starting, and this team, many people were saying, look, because of the CONCACAF tournament that they played, they were tired, they were playing too many games, and it was a slow start, but when you look at it, their first 8 match that they played, 3 wins, 2 losses, 3 draw, between match day 11 and 19, 10 win, 1 draw, 1 goal conceded, and 19 goals scored. So this team gradually, the season progressing into that furlong season, they improving, and they getting much better. But here comes the Champions League curse. Yeah, the Champions League curse. Cavalier was on a run where it's like no team couldn't score than them. Let me repeat that stats again. Between match day 11 and 19, 10 wins, 1 draw. Yeah, no defeated, and 1 goal conceded, and 19 goals scored. They were the best team in the league at that moment. You understand? And then Cincinnati came to the National Stadium and come to play that knockout round. That 2-legged game against them. And from there they lost 2-0 in the National Stadium. They went away in Hawaii, Cincinnati, and they got 4-0. And from there, they played 6 games, and then when you look at it, after all that, since all that happened between the space of a week with Cincinnati, they drew with Umberland. That's the first time they conceded a goal in many games. They lost to Portmore, so it was a shaky farm at that time. And then when you look at the back end of the season, the furlong, the last 3 games, they won 3, 15 goals scored, and only 2 goals conceded. And when you look at it, one of the top moments for Cavalier last season was coming back from 1-0 down with 10 men to beat Mount Pleasant at Sabina Park. That was one of the top moments of the season. But when you look the transfer ins and out, they lost 2 big players, Mins and Irving, to their bitter rival, a team that they went to the final, back-to-back years. Mount Pleasant have what Mount Pleasant have been doing, man, in the league, with the transfer business, it's just crazy. But again, Ruder Speed have talked about how he is going to promote young players into the squad. We saw Cavalier won the under-17 tournament in Jamaica, so most of those players will be looking to get promoted into the first team. So let's see what Cavalier is going to do this season. But you just cannot write off a teams like Cavalier Football Club that going to coach and run by Mr. Ruler Speed. Let's move on to big money spenders. Mr. Gould down there at the Garden Parish, Mount Pleasant. You understand? Guess what? A whole lot of issues been happening, with Mount Pleasant team. Davian Ferguson, Tappa Whitmore, Harold Thomas. Only 1 game they dismissed their coach. After lost that game against Cavalier in the CONCACAF tournament, the Caribbean Cup. You understand? And Tappa Whitmore is at the helm right now. Where Mount Pleasant will finish, can they go in the right direction as a club? Can this be the season where Mount Pleasant go on to be that team that going to be one of the top team in CONCACAF this season? But I think they are far away, from where they're supposed to be at. Look, Tappa Whitmore, it was a gutted summer when he brought the team to back-to-back final. He won 1 and lost 1, and he got dismissed. Many people were calling for the head of Peter Gould, like, what was that decision of? But we heard after Harold Thomas promotion to the first team from an academy coach, they're going to integrate young players into it, but things didn't work out. They signed over 10 players. It's like they changed out a whole squad. But let me go through some of Mount Pleasant, stats. Remember last season, Mount Pleasant was that team that they won they won their first 6 games. Yeah, they won their first 6 games. But before I go any further, who remember this beautiful moment from one of Mount Pleasant fans? Yeah, listen to this and check it out.
You guys travel all the way from St. Anne to Kingston.
Because Mount Pleasant, see, the best team in the entire Jamaica, the best team in the Caribbean. The best team in the entire Jamaica, the best team in the Caribbean. We bring the vibes, we bring the flowers, and we will take the 3 points. No team can chat.
Pleasant doesn't win this match, you're probably going to drop down.
Yes, of course. I guess I know. Me did tell my friend them say we are going to go through the season unbeaten. So we are going to go through the season unbeaten. So we are going to go through the season unbeaten. So we are going to go through. If Milan score 10, we are going to score 11.
All right.
You know, so the man claims say Mount Pleasant did go unbeaten for the rest of the season. But look, this team was really good. Yeah, the first 6 games, it was excellent for them. You know, it was a beautiful start from Tappa Whitmore. You know, they were the best defensive team. They conceded 15 goals last season. You know, when I look around the Mount Pleasant team, you understand, 15 goals conceded last season, 15 in previous season before that, and then, you know, they went on to 15 games unbeaten. You know, 4 draw, 11 games win, and 22 goals scored, and just 7 goals conceded. They are the best team in the league at the time with 13. They finished off the regular season with 13 clean sheets as a team. You know, so I think, you know, look, this team can play really good. This team, they can pick up a run, and this team can go on disaster run. It's like Mount Pleasant team is like the weather. You just don't know what to predict or what's going to come the next day. Yeah, the weather forecast can say the rain tomorrow, and then as it's seen right now, it can come out as a sunny day. So those are the type of, you know, performances you can get from a Mount Pleasant team. But look, the Mount Pleasant Massive, the fans, yeah, what they have been calling for over the years is stability in their performance. Yeah, with some of these better players in the league, they should be performing at a higher level. You know, Mount Pleasant is like this team is like a graveyard for strikers. You know, Shaquille Bradford was hitting the net. You know, before he came in, he was at Arborview. You know, Atafai Bygrave scored around 11-12 goals for Dumbo Olin, and then he came, you know, had at Mount Pleasant, can't score a goal. You know, so multiple strikers, you know, Okwesi Chong, you know, high profile strikers that came through the door at Mount Pleasant cannot get the job done, or cannot get what Trivante Stewart have done. It's like no other strikers have done it before. You know, so performances is what is the fans want from the players as well. You know, look, they have a massive fan base down there at St. Anne, you know, and I think the fans want to enjoy a beautiful Sunday morning or a beautiful Monday night football whenever Mount Pleasant is on display. You know, so let's see what Mount Pleasant will bring to the table this season. But look, there's anything that I want to cover with Mount Pleasant, you know, but that's it, man. You know, the ins and outs, you know it. A lot of players went out through the door, and a lot of players came to the door in St. Anne for Mount Pleasant, yeah. But again, performances is what the fans will be calling for, and are more consistent. I think this team is equipped enough where they can go and even beat their 15 games and beat the last season, yeah. So let's see what Tappa Whitmore and Davian Ferguson will do later on against Portmore. That will be a very good clash, you understand. Moving on to the Junglers, my team, yeah, the best team in the country. I don't care what you want to say, Arnettgarden, the Junglers is the best team in the league, are the best team in the Caribbean, you understand. You know, the most followed team around the region, team with the biggest fan base, yeah, red and black. Are we going to be the champion this season? Let's see, can we lift our 6th Premier League title? You understand? Can Xavier Gilbert lift that title again that we haven't done since 2016, I think 2016, 2017 season? Yeah. So let's see what's going to happen. Check it out. Forwarding. Alright, so Arnettgarden, you don't know, Keyman, Fabian Reid. But let's go through some of the stats. You know, look, last season it took Arnettgarden 3 games to get off the mark at home after beating Waterhouse 1-0 with that Warner Brown. I remember that strike. I remember that breakthrough what Warner Brown did. You know, Arnettgarden, I think, got around 3 red cards in the last 10 minutes. I think 3 red cards flashed out for the Junglers. You know, Arnettgarden Waterhouse is always that bitter rival game. Always going to be some red cards. But their longest unbeaten run is just 6 games from match day 5 to match day 11. You know, some of the worst moments for Arnettgarden was that 3-0 defeat at Savannah Park against Cavalier. And the one that I can't stomach even up to today is Jerome did the double over Arnettgarden by beating them at Stadium Eastfield, I think 3-1, and in their own backyard in the jungle 3-0. Yeah, I can't believe it up to now. But yeah, Tivoli Garden, they haven't done that for around a decade, do the double over Arnettgarden. You understand? You know, that was one of the embarrassing moments for me as an Arnettgarden fan last season. Look, when I look at it, you know, 24 goals conceded, the worst in the top 6 last season. Arnettgarden have conceded too much goals as in a top 6, yeah? Let me repeat it. 24 goals conceded last season, the worst in the top 6. Waterhouse, who couldn't put a couple game winning run and a winning streak, yeah? Let me repeat that. Waterhouse, who couldn't put a winning streak on the bounds, you know, kind of consistent basic, have a better defensive record than Arnettgarden. But over the years, Arnettgarden been known for scoring goals but conceding goals. But can Xavier Gilbert get the team to be conceded less goals than what? Can we conceded less than 20 goals a season? You know, with some of the additions of defenders, with some of the addition in the squad, can we be a better team defensively? You know, if Arnettgarden team can be more stabilizing that backline and conceded less goal of what they did in the last 2 seasons. Last season 24 goal. Previously when they finished on top of league, they finished 3 goals better than, you know, last season, just 21 goals conceded. You know, but again, look, Arnettgarden versus top 6 team last season. You know, Arnettgarden have played 10 games, only won 2 games versus top 6 club. You know, they beat Waterhouse and they beat Waterhouse 1-0. That was their first home game they winning of the season, and they beat Mount Pleasant in that Christmas. Is that Boxing Day? I think that game played on December 27th. The game that didn't hear it on TV. One of the best game I heard ever played in the Jamaican Premier League last season. Yeah, so Arnettgarden against top 6 club, as I said, 10 games played, only win 2, lost 5 and drew 3. And remember, Tivoli Garden have done the double over Arnettgarden, so one of the embarrassing moments. But look, what I have saw in that tournament that they won with the Caribbean Shield, this team have shown me that, you know, Arnettgarden is a well more mature team. You know, the young players is like they having that understanding, they having that bond. You know, Arnettgarden is one of the team in the league that will control the game, will possess the game. They getting better after that. And Arnettgarden team seems that they're preparing for the league or for that tournament. You know, they started training for the last 2 months. You understand? 2-3 months ago. So this team is well prepared. Money have been spent in preparation. You know, we saw the link up with Dream Weekend. You know, I'm going to be one of the management on the board, you know, for Arnettgarden. So that's a good look as well. But Xavier Gilbert, I think this team can go on to win the Premier League. But we must better that record against top 6 teams. Yeah? Top 6 teams. Tivoli beat us twice. Mount Pleasant beat us away. We drew with Waterhouse, you know, at Joesland. Who else? Portmore. They beat us at Ferdinand Park. We drew at the complex. You understand? So we need to better our record when it comes down to top 6 club. You know, Arnettgarden fans want to see Arnett do well against the big team. But what Arnettgarden did last season, they scrape up all those points against the bottom table team. But I think, you know, Arnettgarden kind of dropped off a farm in between, you know, the last 10 games of the season. But give thanks for Fabian Reid to came in, you know, after, you know, a abysmal spell in India, where he came back in the January transfer window and he hit the mark and scored double figures for the Junglers in around 15 games. So he kind of revitalized back Arnettgarden season. You know, I think he have saved Arnettgarden for making it into the top 6. You know, but again, young squad Xavier Gilbert, can he do the unthinkable? Are what most people think that he cannot do with this Arnettgarden team to win the league. But you know, but move on, you know, from the Junglers. I think I have covered most things, you know, for the Junglers. But look, I think I missed out on something, you know, where, you know, I talk about the goals that Arnettgarden conceded. You know, Arnettgarden have conceded, you know, 24 goals last season. A combined that's 45 goals, you know, for the last 2 seasons, 21 in the season that they finished on top and 24 last season. You understand? So let's move on to the 7-time champion Portmore, the team from Brayton. You understand? Look, Portmore is the last team that won the regular season and go on to win the Jamaican Premier League and do fantastically well in the playoff. You understand? This is a very good team, and the additions of Portmore. Remember, 2022-23 season, Portmore had the best, I think one of the best defensive record. Yet Portmore have conceded less than 33 goals in the last season. So this team is a defensive bully. You understand? But let me run through some of the Portmore stats for you. You know, started out the season last season, with a 1-0 loss, to Mount Pleasant. Then they went on to a 5 games unbeaten run, 3 wins and 2 draw. So then after the 5 games unbeaten with two draw and 3 wins, then match day 8, they lost 3-2 away to Mobile United. Match day 9 to match day 23. They have went on to the longest unbeaten spell in the league, where it is 16 games. Mount Pleasant did 15, so Portmore did 16-1-6, unbeaten, 7 draws, 9 wins, 24 goals scored and 8 goals conceded. And Portmore only lost 1 game last season at Ferguson Park. And Siobhan Walsh at one point was injured, and it was a little dismal for them. They actually went on a little dry spell where they couldn't score goals. They have the longest win streak. When I look at it again, Portmore 17 goals conceded last season, 17 goals conceded in the 22-23 season, and 16 goals conceded last season. So last season they have 49 points. They scored 37 goals, conceded 16 goals. Previously, they have 40 points where they missed out on a playoff spot. 40 points, and they scored just 29 goals and conceded 17 in that 22-23 season. And look, 49 points, they finished third. Last season, 3 players last season for Portmore have got 62% of the goals that they scored in the Jamaican Premier League. You understand? 4 more wins than last season, which was the 22-23 season. 3 more draws than the 22-23 season. Portmore equal Montego Bay record for scoring in 13 consecutive games, 8 wins, 4 draw, 1 lose. 24 goals scored, 10 goals conceded, and they average a goal .8 a game. You understand? And that was it. That was the run. The run lasts from match day 8 to match day 19. Portmore, look, have a very good team. What Philip Williams have done, it's a really good job. And they have, Stevie Young. He was one of the better defender, in the Jamaican Premier League last season. Okilo Howard was really good on that right hand side. Emilio Russell was really good, playing at left wing back. Alex Marshall in at number 10, he was inconsistent, but he was getting the performances in those at the end. Siobhan Walsh, the big number and up front, he was, I would say a little bit consistent, getting in the performances for Portmore last season. But as I said, Siobhan Walsh, Alex Marshall, Emilio Russell, and I think, I don't remember who it was someone else. They got at least just over 60% of all the goals that Portmore have scored last season. You understand? So, with who, I don't know, maybe, Rudolph Fastin will be the man that's going to lead this team. But remember, the issues that's been going on with Portmore United and Mount Pleasant over Dave and Ferguson. Match day 1, we don't even know who's going to coach the team as yet. But let's move on. For Firehouse, a team from Juiceland. But no, before I go any further, they have lost 2 big names, Alex Marshall to Mount Pleasant and Martin Davis to Waterhouse. Look at it. They have some key players in Daxley. I think he's a very utility player. Can play in the midfield, can play that wing back, can play in the midfield and in the defensive line. Ramon Owell, another excellent midfielder as well. Romeo Guthrie in that midfield. Tyree Zeminins can play that right hand side. Javi and Brown from Veer, the Veer captain in that midfield. So they really strengthen where I think they will lack some quality in that midfield central here last season. And young Pinnock, coming from Belgium, former of Phoenix Academy player. But Look, Portmore have done some really good business. I think these players, with those two players just left and the addition, I think, this Portmore team will only get better. I think they will be frightening. They only lost one game at Ferguson Park, and I think that was against Veer as well. So, yes, Alex Marshall will be a very key component that they would like to stay. But when you look at the players that came to the door, it's frightening, So it's going to be progress, and I hope it be progress for the team over there in the Sunshine Parish of Portmore, But let's move on, to Jewsland, the Waterhouse Firehouse team, yeah. One big name coming through the door, and that is DJ Shokobus Junior Poppy McGregor. Yeah, I remember this player. I also played against him. He's a very good, talented player. That season where he was playing for Tivoli Garden, before the COVID, it was a remarkable season for Junior McGregor. But for a man that have over 150,000 followers on Instagram, yeah, this is a very good marketing transfer for Waterhouse. I think jersey will be flying off the shelf for that Jewsland team, But other, transfer, Javian Bryan re-signing Atafai Bygrave and Hamilton. I think those players, especially Javian Bryan, that that scored double figures last season in the Jamaican Premier League, he was everything to what Waterhouse did last season. With him, Rivaldo Mitchell, who left the club as well. That's a big loss. Denardo, Fletcher as well. When you combine those players' goals, they have scored over 70%. When you combine those players' goals together, it's over 70% of the contribution of the goals that Waterhouse have scored last season. So it's going to be a big part if those players can pick up their form. Who's going to get Rivaldo Mitchell 5 or 6 goals he scored last season? You understand? But again, Hamilton through the door. Poppy, Junior McGregor, come to the door. Atafai Bygrave, a man that who once almost was the leading goal scorer in the Jamaican Premier League for Dumbo Holding, formerly of Mount Pleasant. He scored that 11 goal in Dumbo Holding season where they went to the final and lost. You understand? So when you look at Waterhouse season, for last season, in that first 5 games, they put on a run and they won consecutively on the bounce, but after that they could not put 2 wins together. Every time when this team get a win, they feel the next game is either or they draw. No, let me say that again. Every time when this team win a game after match day 5, is either they lost or they draw the game. But Waterhouse put on a show the last 4 games of the season. Nobody expect Waterhouse to win from that abysmal poor season. They barely get into the top 6. Yeah, goal difference, over Montego Bay, and it was a wonderful run. I think the last 4 games, it's all W's for them. Javian Bryan was on form. That goal that he got in the 60-something minutes for Waterhouse against Harbourview, that was the goal. That was the time when Waterhouse looked unstoppable. We cannot get off the perch of getting into the playoff, and they did it. Marcel Fuzzy-Gale, man, he's going to have a big season. He's going to have a big season coming up. And when you look on it, yeah, the long run without a win, they went 4 games without a win, but February was the time changer for Waterhouse. They lost 1-0 to Cavalier, then only lost 1 game, and that was against Mount Pleasant. 6 wins, 2 draw, 1 loss, 15 goals scored, and only 4 goals conceded. Yeah, 3 players scored over 70% of Waterhouse goal contribution last season. Yeah, the 22-23 season they finished 8th, 39 points, 26 goals conceded, 26 goals scored, 22 goals conceded in that 22-23 season, and they didn't manage to make the playoff. Last season, 43 points, 38 goals scored, 22 conceded. Yeah, but look, with the team, I know they played lack of width last season. That was one of the biggest downfall last season. When you look at Denardo Thomas, Rivaldo Mitchell, and even sometime when Fletcher was playing out on that wide side of Waterhouse, lack of width. I think the team was playing a little bit too narrow. Christiansen was vital to what Waterhouse was trying to do last season. In that early phase of the season where they played their first 8 games, he was excellent. He was contributing assists to Javian Bryan as well. Jebinson, from loan from Mount Pleasant at the time, no permanent player at Waterhouse. He was excellent in that middle, booth. But I think, where they kind of falter, the defensive errors that they made in that playoff run, beating Tivoli in the playoff. Not many people expect Waterhouse to beat Tivoli, but Waterhouse is his team. Once you let them into the big time, into the playoff, anything can happen. And Javier Bryan, his maiden season in the Jamaican Premier League, he was the leading goal scorer. Now they got him back. Things didn't work out well for him in Vietnam, and now he's right back at Waterhouse, and he's going to lead the charge again with Attafai by grip. Let's see how that's going to work, because with two big strikers, I don't think Waterhouse was expecting Javier Bryan to come back, but because he's on the market, he came back. They have to do the right thing and snap him up back on a contract with Attafai by grip. So 2 men up front, they have a very good high profile striker in the league that can actually come off the bench and start with Javier Bryan up front, so Waterhouse is up for a very good season this time around, but let me just move on from Waterhouse. But remember, Waterhouse was that team that beat or broke Mount Pleasant and the winning streak after they drew that game as well, when they went on to 6 straight games without a loss or a draw, so Montego Bay, Montego Bay, the team, Montego Bay, the team that was one of the best team in the country since the turn of the 2024 year, the second phase of the season, but poor start, only 1 win in 7. So I think that, the poor start for Montego Bay last season was the fault of not getting into the playoff, no loss after February, 7 wins, 3 draw, 17 goals scored, just 4 goals conceded, and only conceded 1 or less goal when scored and during that spell as well. 13 games, as I said, Portmore equal Montego Bay 13 games consecutively of scoring in each game, win, lose or draw. They went on a 12-game unbeaten. But when I look at the upcoming season, Mobile United have a wonderful squad. But when I look at the squad that published, I don't see any Jordan Fletcher, so I don't know what is going on. But when you look at the additional of Chanel Thomas, a man that scored 8 goals in that tournament, the Caribbean Cup tournament, and he scored, I think, 6 goals for Cavalier in the league. That's double figures last season in our competition for the former Cavalier striker. With the addition of what they have, Turkleman, which is Owen Garden, Brian Rambo Brown. When you look at the addition of, they brought back in the Brazilian Lucas, the contingent from the Caribbean islands, from Trinidad as well, I think one of them is President. The addition of those players last season in the second phase after that second transfer window, as I said, they went on that run, but the addition of those players that they kept, it's wonderful, it's wonderful. Let's have a drink of water a little bit, but when you look right now, no, the Brazilian coach is not there. The Zapata era must be this era, the Zapata ball, as I call it, for Montego Bay this season. Can he get the team to go on and get into the playoff? That will have to be the mark for Montego Bay this season. With the Montego Bay have such a strong squad, and can they do it? I think Zapata can do it, the Argentinian, but they have to go one step ahead, just by goal difference. They missed out on the playoff last season, but Mobile will be a very, very tough team to beat at home. For Tivoli Garden, let's go to Tivoli Garden, the West Kingston team. Tivoli Garden, 2 big name through the door that not going to be at the club this season. Pennycook and Alton Lewis. One player went to Arnettgarden, and Pennycook, who went to Mount Pleasant in that big money move. You remember last season, they appointed Jerome with August the 12th of 2023. The last trophy that they, the last time Tivoli Garden won a local Premier League, it was back in 2010-2011 season. So they like a decade and a half drought right now that Jerome Witt is looking to get back Tivoli Garden on that podium to lift the local Premier League. But farm last season, I remember the game that they played, the first game for Tivoli last season. They beat Waterhouse in the National Stadium, 3-0, and many people didn't expect a striker that was going to burn in Tivoli. His name called Justin Dunn. Yeah, the man that scored loads of goals for Tivoli Garden last season. You understand? But the first couple of games for Tivoli between match day 1 and match day 6, 2 losses, 3 wins. Yeah, especially that 3-1 victory in the jungle. Match day 7 to match day 12, 4 wins, 3 draws. Tivoli was a goal machine team at the moment. Tivoli Garden is the highest, is that team in the league last season that scored the most goals at 53, 54 goals last season. You understand? Let me give you a rundown between the 2022-2023 season for Tivoli. Yeah, 2022-2023 Tivoli have 22 points. Yeah, 29 better last season. 29 points 2022-23 season, 22 points better in last season. 42 goals conceded in 2022-2023. Last season they only just conceded 23 goals, and this season it's 19. The season that just passed, it's 19 lesser than that 22-23 that they finished 11th position. You understand? Key players was Justin Dunn, 16 goals for Tivoli. Like I said, Tivoli scored 51 goals last season. Yeah, Justin Dunn have scored 29% of Tivoli goals of last season. Top moments for Tivoli must be that game against Arnettgarden in the jungle and at Stadium Field. So Jerome Wade, he's going to have to get this team back into the playoff. I think it was a poor playoff run. I think they should have beat Waterhouse. But when you look at how Tivoli have played, the French players, before Jerome Wade came in, the team finished right above that relegation drop, in 11th position. And what he have done with those players, he turned around Tivoli season. Not many people, and the Tivoli team was the better team in the league last season when it comes down to playing against top teams in the top 6. You understand? So I think with addition players that came in, I think Jerome Wade is going to have to depend on youths again. But look, this man is one of arguably one of the most. He's most successful manager in the Jamaican Premier League. One of the better managers alongside Rudolph Speid and alongside with Tappa with more. You understand? So you just cannot know what to expect, what's going to happen. It's just going to be unpredictable what this Tivoli team going to do under Jerome Wade. But again, any team at Jerome Wade coach, he's going to improve the team. He's going to improve the players' individual talent and get the best out of players. You understand? Look at what he have done, to Justin Dunn. You understand? So yeah, let's move on to Stars of the East, Harbourview. Oh my God, what happened with Harbourview last season? People, it cannot get any. What Harbourview did last season, this season that's coming up, the season that kicks off, it cannot get any worse than last season. Harbourview is such a prestige team. Won 2 CFU tournament. You understand? They one of that team that 7 Premier League title alongside with Portmore United. Harbourview rich with history. What happened with Ludlow Bernard? And was it Sean Fraser? That was his name, Sean Fraser, the assistant coach. What even happened in the half season with him not getting the job? But Buju Henry is at the helm right now. For Stars of the East. Can they actually do a better season? Yeah. Look, Shaquille Bradford left the club in January gone. Okwesi Chung, join up back with the team, in the half season. Can he be the man that's going to lift Harbourview into that rut season? But let's go into some stats. Look, last season Harbourview finished in 12th position, and 22 points, 32 goals scored, 39 goals conceded. So they finished with a -7. The year that Harbourview went on to win the title, when they finished 4th in the season. 34 goals scored, 21 conceded, 44 points in the regular season. You understand? So you could see that it's a big drop off. But I must say, Harbourview have some good players. They started out with I think with Ajuma Johnson, with Bradford, Harding, Breaking Bridge, that I think that Trinidad keeper, I think, but with so many defensive hero, with so many goalkeeper errors, it was just abysmal. It was just abysmal, and Harbourview have brought some players through the door. Kwesi Chung, Damian Sewell, the Lima captain, and Devante Hodges. Devante Hodges, the son of Hodges, former player in the Jamaican Premier League. So they brought in, a striker, a midfielder, and a defender. So I don't think that's enough. But can Buju Henry get the best out of the players? I think, players that left, Joshua Anglin, that's a big loss in that midfield. That would be a big loss in the midfield. You understand? But again, I don't really have much to say because it was just a poor season for Harbourview, But when you look, moving on to Veer Phoenix with Mr. Craig Butler, the partnership very good for the league. I think he will bring eyes on the league. I think a lot of people will be looking forward to see what Veer Phoenix United will bring. Lenny Hyde and Craig Butler is linking up, two old friends. You understand? Linval Rudy Dixon, left the club. They finished 6 points away from the playoff spot. Can they do a better job than what they did last season? Kemar Bushy Beckford, scored a couple goals as well after came in the midway of the season. So not many out, but I think when you look on Veer, the keeper Rajay left and went to Arnettgarden. The midfielder went on. The captain, scored lots of penalty last season. What's his name? I forgot his name. I called his name earlier. Javian Brown. Two key pieces, two very good leader. In the team as well. I think is vital. But with Lenny Hyde, with his prestige style of play, trying to pass the ball, short pass, tiki taka, can he get the best out of these players? Can the youth steps up at Veer Phoenix United this season? So all eyes is on Lenny Hyde and Craig Butler down there at Clarendon. You understand? So moving on from Veer United, Molynes, I would say Molynes / Jason Wright. Just let's get into it, man. 2022-2023 season, Jason Wright have scored 15 goals for Molynes. That's 40% of his goals that they scored in that season. They scored 37 goals in that season. So 2023-2024, last season, 12 goals last season. They scored 27 goals as a team. Jason Wright contribution was 44% of those 27 goals. So you have scored 27 goals in the last 2 seasons. Look, I think this man was the striker Harbourview should have go get. He is a proven goal scorer in the last 2 seasons with a struggling Molynes team. With a struggling, especially last season of what happened, change of coach. I think they changed around 2 coaches during that last season. I think the former reggaeboyz player, Fowler was the coach. Alex was the coach who started out, and then I think German Thomas, that's his name, should be the coach, the current coach for Molynes this season. But look, don't know much about Molynes in the half season. But look, Molynes the first team to score 2 goals in 3 consecutive games and not win none of them. 2-2 draw with Portmore, 2-2 draw with Treasure Beach, and a 4-2 loss against Dumbo-Olin. So goals are not really the issues for Molynes. It's what they do in the back line. Sloppy goals. Peter Harris, formerly of Arnettgarden goalkeeper. Look, as an experienced goalkeeper, I think at some point in the season he saved them in some games, but made some sloppy errors. But what really lack with this Molynes team, especially with Jason? I know, remember the Nicholas brother, was there at the Nicholas brothers, was there at one point, but I don't know, man. Let's see what Molynes will do. I think it just, as I said, Molynes / Jason Wright. Can Jason Wright do what he done in the last 2 seasons? Add to that 27 goals tally in the last 2 seasons. You understand? Humble Lion, Vassar Reynolds, got appointed last season, just around the Christmas period, and he have managed a team in 17 games, 4 wins, 11 lost, and 2 draw. You understand? Look, a couple seasons back, Humble Lion was one of that team of the best defensive record, under coach Andrew Price and Onin Bigger Thompson. A lot of French players, a lot of old players. Vassar Reynolds is looking to get the youths on board at this time. No Vanzi. I think that will be a big miss. I think that will be a big miss. The contribution of that captain Vanzi in that midfield. How whenever he played, he bring that team together. It's just a one-man show, and his goals on the pitch don't really count, but his leadership and his performances is what stand out for Humble Lion. You understand? So big miss, but let's see what Vassar Reynolds is going to do. Chapitan Maroon again. you know, and that O'Neill, Bigger Thompson, you know, a newly promoted team. You know, the last time Tappa Maroon was in the was in the league, they didn't even get double digit in points. You know, they conceded over 60 goals in the season. You know, so it's going to be a very interesting season for the newly promoted team as well. Did I miss out on anything? I don't know, man. But you know, people, you know, that's some of the things that I sums up. You know, racing, I don't really know much about racing as well. You know, they're going to be a team to look out for. But when you look at the prediction, you know, Arnettgarden, Mount Pleasant, you know, Montego Bay, Waterhouse, Portmore, Cavalier, they expect Tivoli Garden, they expect to be, you know, the top teams in the league coming up this season. You know, coming up later, that going to kick off later. You understand? But look, the games that going to play, you know, today, Arnettgarden will play at Dunbowling. You know, last time around, you know, that was the first game both teams played last season. That was a 0-0 draw in the complex as well. You know, look, Lenny I had left the club. You know, one of Dunbowling's big problem last season was too much passing and less end product. You understand? You know, Nicholas Nelson, you know, scored double digit for them as well. You know, left the club. So where this team are, how, you know, Mr. Williams will get the best, Philip Williams will get the best out of these players. You know, but again, remember, Dunbowling quality team, you know, kind of fade away in the last 7 games. Many people would say injuries to Nicholas Nelson, you know, kind of let them fade out a bit from the playoff spot. You know, lack of goal threat, man. Lack of goal threat. You know, lack of end product. You know, Waterhouse versus Racing. You know, Monday Night Football. You know, look, Waterhouse last season against newly promoted team, 4 match played, 4 wins, 14 goals scored, 14 goals, 4 goals conceded. You know, they beat Limal 1-0 and 3-0, beat Treasure Beach 4-1 and 4-2. So you're going to expect a rollover, you know, for Waterhouse as well. You know, Arborview versus Chapelton Maroon. You know, Arborview, as again, man, just poor. But again, all eyes will on Bojo Henry. Yeah, all eyes will be on Bojo Henry coming up for the Stars of the East. It's a prestige job. It's a prestige job to have as a coach. You know, this is going to be his first role as an head coach in the Jamaican Premier League in his career. I heard, you know, he once was a physio, and you know, from a physio to head coach, look, let's see what Arborview will do. You know, but yeah, those are the games, you know, going to be played in the Jamaican Premier League. You know, look, Portmore versus the game, the match of the week 1 already. Portmore versus Mount Pleasant. Yeah, what is going on internally with these two clubs is just remarkable. You understand the issues back and forth with managers. You know, look, Mount Pleasant was the best away team last season. 20 goals scored, 10 goals conceded, and they got 29 points on the road. So Mount Pleasant beat Portmore last time out in their first game. You know, so Portmore will be looking to get the best of Mount Pleasant with the influx of stars coming through the door, you know, over there in Senton. Mount Pleasant will be looking to kickstart their season, you know, try to beat those 6 games that the streak that they had last season, you know. But Portmore will be frightening, you know. So a lot of players will be playing against each other, played on the same team last time out, you know, for Portmore. So Guthrie, Owl, those players will be looking to get the best of their farmer club, Daxley, you know. So let's see what's going to happen at Ferguson Park, you know, later. But it will be a big game for Portmore and Mount Pleasant. But yeah, people, this is my little chit chat with the Jamaican Premier League. You know, the Media House Premier League show is here again. So bless up to the people, as usual, for tuning in, stopping by, for watching. Really appreciate you guys. Salute. You know, bless up. Mad, I'm out. Happy Sunday, everyone.